I found a Air Warriors blow blaster at the thrift store of all places, and the only reason that I bought it was because it was brand new in package. There is no universe in which I buy a used version of this. It was $3. It was $3. It was in the packaging, so I couldn't say no to it. Let's open this up. Let's give it a review. It is just a goofy blaster. And the funny thing is like, there's not very many of these blasters that exist in the world. There was one from the Nerf Zombie Strike line, and this one that I'm aware of. There might be a few others. Let's see just how well this works. And if you should track down one of these, possibly not at a thrift store. You might think like something like this is pretty old. It's not that old. 2021 is the copyright for this, so I'm guessing it's been made over the course of multiple years. But 2021, I mean, yeah, it was 3 years ago, but that's not that long ago when we're talking about blasters. Very easy blaster to unbox. We'll just snip here. We'll just snip here. And that's kind of it. I mean, here's our blaster. There are some instructions on the back to how best to operate it, but I need to get the accessories out. I think I'm going to leave the long distance darts in there because, I mean, I don't think we're going to go into just the Busby long distance darts. They have long since moved on from that. Busby's doing new darts. Everybody's doing new darts. So the dart holder just snaps on the body of this thing. It almost looks like a syringe of sorts. And according to the instructions, I'm supposed to hold it vertically here, pump it twice to build some air pressure, and wouldn't you know, I do feel some resistance there. I need to keep it extended, and then I need to put a dart on this end and then blow through this end. If you're curious, you can't use half-length darts right out of the box with this thing, because if you look down the barrel there, if you can see, there is a dart post as well as some air restrictors, so that just not gonna work for us. So we need to seat one of these darts as far down as possible. Let's just go. Let's give this a try here. So here is the blow blaster for the very first time. Then we're going to talk about some of the things that I like about this thing, some of the things that I don't like about it, what I would have possibly changed. I mean, you know how this all goes, right? So wish me luck. Blow blaster by Air Warriors. That was highly disappointing. Let me try another dart. Maybe like a fresh dart is going to work on this better. So I have two darts here. I have one of the X-Shot darts with the air pocket technology. I also have a Nerf Elite style dart, which is now being transitioned over to the Nerf N1 dart, but we still have a ton of these. Let's use it while we can here. Now maybe it makes a difference if I put the dart in first and then I prime this a little bit. So again, I'll hold it vertical and we will 1, 2. That doesn't seem to work. All right, I felt a little pressure building up there. I first held it down, then up. Again, we're gonna give this a try. Am I supposed to, let me look at the instructions again. Okay, that was better. I think it was the dart on the first time. Let's just try it again. Here's another X-Shot dart. Let's push it down this way. 1, 2. Low dart as shown, all the way down there. Here we go, third time's a charm. Ah, it's the X-Shot darts. The X-Shot darts are the problem. Part of the reason is that the darts are a little larger, just a slightly bit larger, which is going to make it harder for the dart to leave the barrel because we're not relying on spring power. We're not relying on any other sort of mechanical advantage other than your own lungs. I've been trying to figure out how this works, and I think I finally got it. The reason that you have to hold this vertical is because there is a piece right here at the end. Just right after this blue cylinder, there is that little pin, and then below that pin there is like a pedestal. That pedestal needs to be in that position. So when I prime it a little bit, and so what ends up happening is you extend it, and this pin right here is what's going to unleash the air pressure. And when I blow it, what I'm doing is I'm moving this pedestal to this pin and then firing a dart from it. So if all goes according to plan, I'm going to do this pretty close to the camera here, and you will see this podium hit that pin. So let's do just that. There you have it. That's how this works. And when the pin fires, the air pressure releases, and then the dart goes flying. So it's not a true blow dart in that sense, where your direct input is launching the projectile. Your air pressure is moving like a hammer to hit a pin, which unleashes all of the built-up air pressure, which I'm guessing for the most part is probably the best way to do it. If you're somebody who's smaller, like a kid who's about 8 and up, you're not going to have the lung capacity as somebody like me who could launch the dart a whole lot faster. So this kind of evens the playing field for the blow blaster here. But I thought it was kind of interesting because I really wanted to do a deep dive to figure out just how it worked. And I know taking it apart would have just been a little too much, but just paying careful attention, you can kind of get an idea of just how things work. And yeah, like if you've used this one and you've taken it apart, let me know in the comment section about if I'm missing anything, because I'm really curious to see if I'm on the right track. This is a rather unique blaster. Again, this looks like something you'd find at the doctor's office or maybe at a bakery, not necessarily a foam dart battle. Let's go over some of the things that I like. I like that it's a gimmick, and you know me, I love a good gimmick, and this is a good gimmick. Other thing that I like about it too is that it comes with this dart holder. Because you could be so limited with something that fires one dart at a time that takes a lot of just air power to move, you want to make everything else with this blaster as easy as possible, and reloading is going to be one of those things. I think having one of these half moon clips, it kind of looks like a sun maybe, a half sun clip, to load 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 darts as backups is a great idea for this. And so like if you pull one of these out of your back pocket and you don't have a Nerf jolt on you or something like that, you are definitely going to confuse people, and they're definitely going to be stunned in not like a scared way, but just like a confused way, which still might give you the advantage. Some of the things that I don't like about this, it's just not that effective. If you don't have a perfectly perfect dart, and I've tried this a bunch more times, it's going to give you some really bad performance. So finding those Goldilocks darts is going to be just kind of a lot of effort, more effort than it's worth, because if you have something like a Nerf Jolt or something very simple to like top load and prime and fire, you're not going to be like, oh, hey, hang on, 1, 2, then extend, like that. Like that's just not gonna be the most effective use of your time on the foam dart battlefield. The other thing too, and I don't know if this is a hindrance because I'm not too familiar with these dart systems, is that the mouthpiece right here, you can tell, has a very small opening for air. If you were to take a deep breath and just pump a lot of air through this thing, I think it's going to be limited by just how small that airway is. So there's naturally going to be a cap just on the difficulty of getting darts to perform at any sort of level that we would with any other mechanical advantage blaster. I'm talking about flywheels, or I'm talking about spring power. A couple things that I would change about this would be to like alter the amount of darts that you could use. Like the first thing I would do is I would get rid of the dart posts on here. I'm thinking with the air restrictor, that's going to be important with how this all operates, but we didn't necessarily need as long of a dart post. We could have had a half-length dart thing, and in fact, like, it might even be worth it just to try to like cut that down and see exactly how far you would have to cut this down to make half-length darts work, because I think you could. And just knowing how physics works, the same amount of air behind a dart that is, you know, roughly half the weight of it is going to perform better. Again, you're going to need things like the air seal. You're going to need to make sure that the air restrictor is seated properly. There's a lot that has to happen for this blaster to work without a hitch. What do I think about the Air Warriors Blow Blaster? I'm glad that I found it for $3, because this would have been kind of a disappointment. You think of like a blow dart. You think of something that goes really fast and accurate. This is neither of those things. Again, with the caveat being, like, if you find like the perfect dart to work with one of these, it's acceptable. It's probably a good thing that we haven't seen something like this since about 2021, even though I'm guessing we probably still can find these on store shelves at certain points. Certainly you can find them at Goodwill, but I am glad that I have it, because it is such a weird goofball blaster. I love when things take chances, when they swing for something different, even if they miss. It really screams that these are toys, and they are meant to be played with, even though they might not be the most serious thing to use in a foam dart battle. But listen, if you like weird blasters like this, I've got a whole bunch of them. I talk about Nerf, X-Shot, Dart Zone, any sort of up-and-coming company. We also talk about things like 6-inch scale action figures, G.I. Joe, Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, all those cool things. And if you've just been totally invested on how well a blow dart blaster actually works, then you need to follow along. You need to hit that subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss other videos in the future. Now for me and the Air Warriors Blow Blaster, that's it. Thanks for watching.